Well, how's it going today? I'm back at the Samurai engine today. I'm going to be working on the valve body or the top end today. I'm going to start disassembling it, getting it ready to get sent down to the hot tank. I think it's going to be a pretty easy process. I'm not going to go too crazy with it, just going to take apart what I can. I don't even know if I need specialty tools to remove those springs and valves themselves. But anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and do it. But before I do, I wanted to take a look at some of the parts that I had brought with me, or that I have wanted to take a look beforehand and at some of the parts that I have cleaned up. Took them to a wire wheel and a parts cleaner. They turned out pretty good. Like for example, this is my water pump. Turned out pretty good. I also cleaned up some of the pulleys. This turned out pretty well. And I also have some of the other pulleys. Just kind of cleaned them up the best that I could in a parts cleaner and on a wire wheel. But anyways, got those all taken care of. Anyways, you can kind of see that they're all just kind of cleaned up. Cleaning off this water pump was a little bit fun, trying to get into all the nooks and crannies. But I think it turned out fair enough. I'm not going to go super crazy and try and clean it any much more, I don't think. And also got the pulleys. But anyways, I just wanted to show you that I just kind of got them cleaned up. Every now and again I'm taking some parts and taking them to a wire wheel and taking them to a parts cleaner, just kind of make them look a little pretty, so that when it does come time to actually rebuild the motor, that they're just kind of looking good, and it'll just be more appealing to myself that they're clean. There it is. That is the top end, and there's enough that needs to be done to remove all of this, or there's enough that needs to be removed that it'll keep me busy for a little bit. But just to point it out a little bit, I gotta remove the spark plugs that are still in there. I gotta remove the screws that hold in the rocker shafts. That should be relatively easy just to pull them out. And then I need to remove the springs and rocker shafts themselves. And I'm going to at least try to remove the springs and the valves. And we'll just see how that goes once I get to it. Oh, I also need to remove the main camshaft. So anyways, I'm going to just kind of take it easy at first and just get straight into those spark plugs. This is a 1316 socket. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to loosen up the bolts that are connected to the valve, so that when I remove the rocker shaft, it'll be easier to move it around. This is just a 12mm wrench. What I'm going to need to do is all these Phillips head screws that screw into the rocker shafts. I'm going to need to loosen them all up. Okay, I'm going to take a mallet, and while I'm trying to unscrew these, I'm going to tap on the top to help break it free. I'm going to need a little bit more motivation than that. Okay. Wow. Oh, there we go.
I wrote her off for the 10th Sunday.
real sketchy there, trying to get those off. I almost stripped 3 of them, and almost couldn't get like 2 of them off. But in the end, I was able to do it. I would suggest that if you do end up trying to take apart your top end and you get to these rocker shaft screws, be extremely careful with it, because they were trying to strip super fast. I don't know how, but I ended up breaking like 2 of my impact bits. I ended up, just to get them all loose, I ended up having to pull out my electric impact gun, and it was real sketchy. Like I said, I almost stripped out 2 of them. Like this one here is completely unusable. I'm gonna have to buy a brand new set of these. But they all are out now. I'm gonna go ahead and bag them up. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and start off with the, this would be the exhaust side. I'm going to go ahead and remove the rocker shaft and all the springs and rockers that come with it. Oh, there it is. Something to note is that there's 2 notches on the end. Right now they're facing straight up and down. This is the intake side, and this is the exhaust side. On the intake side, there's 2 notches on this side of the shaft, which only allows it to, oh, I thought it was only going to allow it to go one way, but those 2 notches need to be facing the front of the vehicle, whereas on the exhaust side, on the back side, there's only 1 notch. And that 1 notch side of the shaft needs to be facing the back of it. So anyway, let's go ahead and just slowly pull this off. Now I shouldn't have to mark off the shaft, because like I said, on the back side there's a notch, like a flat spot on this side here that can only be, it's supposed to be orientated towards the back side. Again, this is the exhaust side of the valve body. This is the exhaust side, so the single flat spot goes towards the back side. Okay, now I'm going to start pushing this other side out. This is the intake side, and there's 2 flat spots, one on one side and one on the other side, and these 2 flat spots face the front of the valve body, or the top end. At this point, what I'm going to need to do is push the camshaft out, and there shouldn't be anything that's holding it in. I should just be able to kind of pop it out. Okay, so I'm at a point with this valve body that there's not really much more that I can do other than maybe remove the oil seal there. I'm going to need to pick up or borrow a valve spring tool to actually remove the valves. But the only other thing I can do, I'll do really fast, and that's removing the head gasket there. Hopefully this just kind of comes off. Ah, yeah, it is. Nice. A couple of the other gaskets I've done haven't really been so easy. Right now I'm just cleaning up some of this old gasket material that's stuck on here. Okay, so it's approximately about 13 hours later from the last time I was out here working on the Samurai. I was working on the top end, and I got to a point where I need to remove the valves and the springs. I need to compress the springs to remove the valves, and I didn't have the tool to do it, but I went grocery shopping today, and while I was out I happened to grab a tool from Harbor Freight. It's a universal overhead valve compressor. Show you a quick little look at that. It's kind of an odd design, but I do think that it will work. I also picked up while I was out a little magnetic metal tray. I really wanted to try one of those. I got a little circuit tester, and I also got a torque wrench. But anyway, I'm going to just hop right back into this. I'm going to start removing the valves. So I guess I'll be able to give you guys a little tester review on this. Maybe it'll work. If it works for me, I'll let you guys know. But anyways, I'm just going to tear this right on open. Anyway, so this is what it looks like. Just a little clamp dealio. You just put it up on the springs and work it. But anyways, I'm just gonna toss that because I'm a man and I don't need instructions. So you know what? Here we go. Let's take a look. What the heck? Then you do it like what? What is that? What exactly is going on here? Place lower jaws of tool under both sides fully. Under both sides of lowest coil in spring. Make certain the jaws are fully engaged under coil on both sides. Yeah, I'd say like that. I'm teasing. Okay, let's actually get on into this. I'm really excited about this. I mean, it is a pretty straightforward. I'm sure you can tell I was just kind of joking. Just gonna squeeze those together. Start turning. Again, I don't really think it really matters how far down you actually are on the spring, just as long as you can compress the spring. The see if I can't bring this light over here. That's something. You want to try and line up those ears so where they're not blocking the way out for your keeper. But now that I have it kind of right where I want it, I'm just gonna give it a nice tight grip until it kind of pops into place. Just kind of work it around until it's right where you need it to be. You don't want to go through all that trouble just to have it block your way. And there you go. This handle on the top is not ergonomic at all. I'm slowly releasing off of that. I want to show you guys exactly what's going on here. So there's one. Literally just taking a screwdriver I'm just trying to work that piece out from this. There it is. That's the keeper. Here we go. Just kind of dropped a little bit. Let's see if I can't show you this really fast. In case you're wondering, this is what your keeper looks like. It's just a little tapered piece of metal. Let's see if I can work the next one out. There it is. I finally, after almost 3 hours, got those valves, got the valves out of the top end. I will admit that little Harbor Freight spring compressor was really tricky at first. It was really annoying, but I think I got the hang of it after about getting halfway through the last 4 that I did. I mean, they just came out with ease because I just kind of figured it out. But I would maybe suggest it to a friend. But if you do end up getting the chance to use one, just go really slow with it. You know, for 10 bucks or the $11 that it cost me to get it, to purchase it, it clearly got the job done. So I mean, at least I can give it that. But it's just not really user friendly, but you know, just take your time with it. Anyway, the valves are out, the springs are out, the chaser, the keepers are out. That was kind of tedious. That was very slow going, but you know, a little bit of finesse and a lot of patience, and it finally came out. So I should be able to take the top end to a parts cleaner and get it looking really good, and then send it off to a machine shop to send it into the hot tank. So I guess that really concludes this video. If you liked what you saw, please be sure to leave a like or a comment, and it'd really do me a favor if you went ahead and subscribed, just so you guys can keep up with my progress on this Samurai, and you'll get to see all of my upcoming videos. So before I run out of battery, thank you so much for watching and seeing this one through to the end. I know I almost gave up on it, so I imagine you guys probably almost gave up on watching. But anyway, thanks for watching.